You ever pick up the phone and feel death breathe through the line? For me, it came just minutes after the crash. His voice was calm, too calm, the CEO of one of the biggest corporations in the state. "My son has immunity," he said. "I own the judge. Drop it." My daughter was still in surgery, her body shattered by his son's car. She'd been left in the street like garbage. I gripped the phone tighter, my knuckles white. My voice didn't shake. "You have no idea who you're talking to," I said. "You've got 10 minutes to turn him in." He laughed arrogant, hollow, like a man who believed he was untouchable. "Or what?" he said. I didn't answer. Silence was enough. 9 minutes later, his lawyer called me in a panic. "Who the hell are you?" he shouted. "We're ready to accept all of your terms, just tell us." I hung up. I wasn't negotiating. I was counting down. The betrayal wasn't the accident. Accidents happen. The betrayal was his arrogance, the belief that money and power could erase a life. That my daughter's blood on the pavement was just another inconvenience. I sat in that hospital waiting room, under buzzing fluorescent lights, her blood still drying on my clothes. He thought I'd fold. He thought grief would break me. But grief didn't come. Calculation did. Every word he'd spoken played back in my mind immunity. I own the judge. That wasn't confidence. It was a confession. He'd already told me everything I needed to know. I wasn't fighting a reckless kid anymore. I was dismantling an empire. And I started quietly. Always quietly. Hospital nights gave me time. Time to dig. Time to connect the threads he thought were invisible. The judge, the charity bribes, the offshore accounts under his son's name. Every piece of data was another match. Together, they'd make the fire. He thought the world existed to protect him. He never imagined someone like me could tear it apart. His arrogance was his undoing. He left trails everywhere, emails, flight records, transactions that screamed corruption. I didn't leak them yet. I waited. Silence makes powerful men stupid. They start to sweat when no one's talking. So I let him stew in that silence. The nurses kept asking how I stayed so calm. I told them I prayed. I didn't. I prepared. 3 weeks later, the file was ready, pages and pages of filth disguised as wealth. I didn't send it to the police. Not yet. I sent it straight to him. A plain envelope. No name, no message, just proof. Every bribe, every falsified contract, every dirty judge, all tied to his son's name. That night, he called me. The arrogance was gone. His voice shook. "What do you want?" he whispered. I said nothing. Let the silence answer. "You don't understand," he begged. "If this gets out—" "It already has," I said. The line went dead quiet. Then came the sound of his breath breaking like glass underfoot. He finally realized I wasn't bluffing. The courtroom was packed the day his son stood trial. The immunity he bragged about was gone. The judge he owned had recused himself, replaced by one he couldn't buy. His son sat trembling, no longer a predator, but prey. The evidence spoke louder than I ever could. Witnesses who'd once stayed silent finally stood tall. And the father, front row, powerless, watched it all collapse. His eyes searched for mercy, maybe for a deal. I gave him none. When the guilty verdict came down, my daughter was still in recovery. Her life would never be whole again, but his empire was in ruins. That was enough. I walked out of the courthouse into clean air, cameras flashing, reporters shouting my name. I ignored them. Justice doesn't need an audience. It's not loud. It's surgical, precise. I thought of my daughter's laughter, the sound that used to fill every room. It was gone, stolen. But what I'd taken from him was permanent. He could rebuild money, but not power, not legacy, not peace. He thought he owned the judge. Now he knows he never even owned himself. In the end, it wasn't just his son on trial. It was his name, his bloodline, his arrogance, and I left them both guilty.